profit taking coming in. So some of the pharma stocks, even Aurobindo and Dr. Reddy's, are seeing marginal amount of profit taking coming through. Let's welcome in our guests. We have Ruchit Jain, equity technical analyst at Angel Broking, joining us from Mumbai. Ruchit, it's expiry today, and it's been a very quiet kind of a day. We really haven't seen volatile moves come in. Could it happen over the next 1 hour? What would you do for tomorrow, which will be the last trading day of the week? What kind of positions would you look to build?
Good afternoon, Anisha. Anisha, well, for the today intraday session, I don't think we would see much significant upside from current levels. Probably 8100 was a very stiff resistance for the market, even if you see it from the options front or even technically on the intraday charts or 60-minute charts. There was 200 SMA around 8100. Yesterday we had already registered that highs around 8100, so I think the upside from current levels as of now for next 1 hour seems to be very limited. We may not correct from here current levels, but I think it would be more of a dull trading session for next 1 hour in today's session. So probably not expecting any major movement on intraday front, but yes, from positional point of view, we are quite positive on the markets. Even last time, if you recollect that we had talked about how markets, in spite of having breached, Nifty having breached the November lows, the RSI was registering a higher bottom. So we have seen that positive divergence coming in on the index front, and I think 7900 to 8100 would be a new accumulation range over here now. And once Nifty surpasses 8100, whether it happens tomorrow or probably next week, once it surpasses 8100, I think a good traction on the positive side could be seen. So nothing much to read it for intraday front now, but yes, positionally I think 7900 to 8100 is a very good range to start accumulating stocks over here.
All right. But what about individual stocks? Do you have any recommendations, any workable ideas?
Anisha, a couple of stocks from the mid-cap names itself, because I think the way positive divergence has been seen in mid-cap index too, we could see some sort of outperformance in the mid-cap stocks. Britannia is one of the stock which we are recommending to go long on. Probably if we observe the bit longer term charts, then the stock is now trading around its long-term support. Even last time when the stock started its rally, the 2850, 2840 was a crucial support from where we saw the stock moving higher towards 3300 and above levels. So again, the stock has retraced those gains. It has already corrected about more than 20% in last 3 months. I think from here on we can expect a targets around 3030. So one can go long in Britannia at current levels for target of 3030, maintaining a stop loss below 2747. Apart from this, we are also positive on Bata India. This stock has consolidated in last 1.5 months, and after the consolidation phase, we saw very good volumes in yesterday's trading session, and even today the breakout has been led with a gap up opening. So on the higher side, we can expect a 460 targets probably by early next week itself. So from a very short-term trading perspective, one can create long positions in Bata India, keeping a stop loss below 434 for target of 460.
Okay, so you like Bata, and I think in Britannia. What about some of the banks? Do you think the banks are consolidating after the fall that we saw last week? Some of them are consolidating. What would you do with the likes of SBI, ICICI, Axis, and Yes Bank?
Very importantly, Anisha, if you observe, then definitely this bank Nifty in the recent past has been a good underperformer vis-a-vis the Nifty. Even last 2-3 trading sessions, we have seen the good positive traction coming in the Nifty index, but Bank Nifty has not shown any sort of outperformance. This index is right now trading below its 200-day simple moving average, which is a bit negative sign. So unless we get any kind of reversal signals or major signals from the large cap front, I don't think we would see any sort of outperformance in the Bank Nifty. Yes, it may recover along with the markets at a later stage, but initially I don't think that this time Bank Nifty would be the leader for this up move which we are expecting in the near term. So one can definitely focus on non-banking stocks where a good sort of positive momentum could be seen. Bank Nifty may underperform the overall market or may perform in line, but we are not expecting any outperformance from the banking pack as of now.
All right, so banking, you're not expecting the banking stocks to lead the rally. What are the stocks that will lead the rally? What would you bet on?
From the large cap fronts, IT sector has been doing quite well. We have seen that this index has started forming high top, high bottom, at least on the hourly charts or lower time frame charts. Even recently, when Nifty index has retested its November low, this index has held on quite sharply. The moving averages have given a positive crossover, so some of the IT stocks have quite a good weightage in the Nifty index also. So I think Infosys is there, TCS is there, HCL Tech is there. These three stocks amongst the heavyweights should show some good positive momentum, at least in near term. Another index which could, Nifty FMCG index also has shown a positive divergence, just like Nifty on the daily charts. So even if you observe, then the ITC and HUL are the two stocks which are heavyweights in the FMCG index as well as in the Nifty. So IT and FMCG would be the two sectors, I think, which could be the leaders in the next leg of up move.
Can you tell us what targets would you have for some of these stocks? You, I think, mentioned heavyweights in technology, Infosys. What about HUL, ITC? What kind of targets are we talking about? Because most of these stocks are seen as defensive bets. They protect your portfolio and they're not the ones that lead the gains. What kind of targets are you looking at for these counters?
Anisha, specifically going to the stocks, then HUL, we have seen a positive divergence coming in on the higher side. Next resistance is coming around 840, which is another about 4 to 5% up move from current level. So we can expect a target of 814 HUL. One can go long keeping a stop loss below 800 levels. Apart from it, as this ITC also, we are expecting a good momentum to come in. 230, 225 is a good range to get long into. So I think even if we get a minor dips around 230, 225 range, then one should create long positions over here. 224 should be the stop loss. 237 is the first, 237, 238 is the first resistance, but I think this resistance would soon be crossed and the stock would head higher towards 243, 244. Now coming to the IT sector, which is also expected to do good in short term, HCLT is one of the stock, although this stock has traded in a broad range of 740 to 840, I think now in last 3 or 4 months itself, but the stock has potential to head towards towards higher end of the range. So 835, 840 could be expected in HCL Technologies as well. And even TCS, if I talk about amongst the IT stocks, then this stock should head higher towards 2420, which is another I think 75-80 rupees upside from current level. So keeping a stop loss below 20 to 60, one can create longs in TCS for target around 2420.
So you like IT and FMCG. What about some of the cement stocks? You've seen a 3% move coming into Grasim. Ambuja Cement's also looking good. So in the cement space, do you think could be the one that will also participate in the rally that you're expecting? Any picks there?
Among the cement types, I think Grasim would be one of the stock which could outperform within this sector also. This stock rather also has shown a formation of a higher bottom compared to the November lows which it had formed. I'm not have any aggressive targets on the upside in this Grasim, but in near term, I think if the stocks starts sustaining above 840, or even if it closes for one day also, if above 840, then I think the stock has potential to go higher towards 880, which would be about 5% upside. So just from a trading perspective, if anyone wants to create trading position in the cement sector, Grasim would be the one which one can go long for target around 880.
You like Grasim. What about ACC and Ultratech? Any views on these cement stocks? Could they head higher?
Yeah, mostly we are seeing a good consolidation phase going on in ACC. The stock has good support around 1260, 1270. But if we see, then there are no signs of any major upside momentum coming in, at least in short term. Broadly, the stock is expected to consolidate now in this range of 1260 to 1370, 1380 on the higher side. Ultratech Cement, recently the correction was quite sharp comparatively if we see in this stock. So we may see some short-coming bounce coming in on the stock, but on the higher side again the resistance would coming around 3300, which is not far from current levels. So I think some sort of consolidation phase would be seen amongst the cement space. Stock-specific movement could be could be seen on the positive direction, but not to a very extent that entire sector would participate in the up move. As we also discussed earlier, Grasim is one of the stock. I think on the charts the structure looks quite positive. Even the indicators have shown positive momentum, so we could see some 5 to 6% upside in Grasim from here.
Okay, so you see 5 to 6% upside in Grasim. What about some of the individual names? Now we're seeing the markets move up higher now, 8,072. We've gone up to nearly 8,078 on the Nifty today. Today we're seeing a strong up move coming into IFCI and IDBI Bank. Maybe some news flow this, but on the charts, what do you see for these two counters?
I have seen the up move has been led by good volume, so we can see some continuation of the uptrend. But the stock has again would face resistance around 31 rupees. If we observe some positional charts, then since May 2015, which is almost 1.5 year, the stock has not able to cross the resistance of 31. So the trended move which we see, that the uptrended move would start only if the stock manages to cross this resistance of 31 levels, which has not been crossed since last 1.5 years. Until then, we can expect a move up to 31, but the uptrend which we see as a trended move should be expected only if it manages to cross about 31 rupees. IDFC Bank, IDBI Bank even today's session has shown, although has shown good momentum, but I think more or less the stock would show some sort of consolidation phase itself. Today's opening, we saw good gap up opening in the stock, but rather that was not continued on the higher side. So the follow buying momentum has to come in case the stock has to rally higher. Also, previously we have seen the stock had formed this low top low bottom formation. So as the stock moves higher, there would be a lot of resistances coming in the stock, which would not allow the stock to move in a one-way direction on the upside. So 71, 72 could be expected on the higher side, but not expecting any big momentum to come in short term.
All right. Amongst some of the other stocks that are doing well, Bharat Financial Inclusion is one that has moved up very well as State Trading Corporation, STC. Any view on these two stocks?
Bharat Financial, day before yesterday, when the stock had recovered from its lower levels of 465, on that day the stock had formed a bullish engulfing pattern. Probably this is one of the pattern in technical analysis which, if formed after a downtrend or after a significant correction, is generally considered as positive. So probably we have seen a good traction after that, but the stock now has a good has some sort of resistance coming in around 615 levels. So not much far from current levels. So I think the up move, the trading up move has already been seen in last 3 trading sessions. It would be, the risk reward ratio won't be much favorable to get in with the stock at current levels. In case the stock corrects now again comes up to 400, 545, 550 range, I think that again would be a good opportunity to create longs in the stock, keeping a strict stop loss below 465. So not recommending to go long at current levels, but any dips towards 400 and 545, 555, 550 could be used as a buying opportunity. STC India, we have already seen the stock since last, I think, one and a half week, the stock has almost doubled from 120 to 220 levels. So, getting into the stock right now, the risk reward again won't be much favorable. The short term trend for STC India would remain positive, but the stock has already moved higher with, I think, 3 or 4 continuous circuits. So I would wait for some corrective dip in the stock. In case I get it around 160, 170 range, then I think positionally again one can look into the stock. But at this time, one should definitely look to avoid STC India.
All right, so that's the view coming in on Bharat Financial and STC. Thank you so much, Ruchit, for speaking with us at NDTV Profit and talking to us about the picks that you like. We're going to slip into a break at this point in time. We'll keep it live with markets.